Imagine that you are a race car driver, the best in the world, and you have a big race coming up. You look at your car and you notice a few loose nuts in your engine, but you don't care because you are the best driver in the world with the greatest set of intelligence, knowledge, and skills when it comes to your craft. So, you get to the race begins, and you're off. You take the lead and you keep it for almost all the race until that rattle from the nuts in your engine grow and grow and grow, and soon your car gives in. The engine bursts and you jump out of the car and watch as second and third place become first and second. But I was the best. I was more skilled and knowledgeable than them, you tell yourself. Well, the truth is that this applies exactly to your exams. There are going to be times where there are people in your class who knew far less than you, and yet they perform better than you. And the reason for this is because their brain simply works on a higher level than yours did. Now, before you panic and give up on your dreams, this can be improved. And in this video, I'm going to give you 3 very simple, easy, and implementable steps that you can use instead of having to study that can improve your grades and lower your time wastage. Starting off with step number 1, napping. You see, the funny thing is, usually in media and culture, napping is synonymous with laziness. However, this is far from true, especially when it comes to your brain's performance. Take for an example a study done where researchers took 39 students and separated them into a no nap and nap group. At 12 p.m, they both took an exam and did roughly the same. Then later on at 2 p.m, the nap group took a 90-minute nap. And then later at 6 p.m, both groups took a test. And the nap group actually did noticeably better when it came to results. So, napping can actually help with your brain's performance. Whether you do a nap before studying to prepare your brain, after studying to help retain information, or before your exam. Now, the next step is exercise. Now, I know this sounds like it has nothing to do with your brain's performance, so let me explain it to you using an analogy. Picture this. Your brain is like a river. The river runs through the ecosystem and powers it essentially. But one day, the river is clogged with gunk and rubbish. The water and the stream stops, and the ecosystem is disrupted. This is just like your brain, and blood flow is very important to your brain's capacity to perform. In fact, this is backed by multiple studies, such as one study by the University of Illinois, which showed that daily aerobic activities can improve memory, cognitive capacity, and problem-solving tasks. And another study showed that students who did 20 minutes of exercise on a treadmill before completing a cognitive task did far better than students who stand still before doing the task. So, before your next exam or before your next study session, take a walk or a jog. It'll improve your capacity without having to study more. Now, before I tell you the next step, let me ask you a question. If I were to put a button in front of you and lock you in a room for 15 minutes, and you knew that upon pressing that button you would get shocked, would you press it? Well, this was an actual experiment. And in the experiment, 25% of females and 67% of males pressed that button after saying they would pay to avoid a shock. What does this show? Well, this shows how much we dread boredom. And yet the funny thing is that the benefits of boredom are quite shocking. There have been multiple studies done on boredom and its effects on the brain. One study by the Academy of Management Discoveries shows that the mind-wandering effect of boredom can increase creativity and also increase problem-solving ability. Not only does boredom make you think about what you have to do and make you more aware of what you should be doing, but it also allows your brain to have a rest and increases creativity because of its mind-wandering effects. Another study done on boredom got participants to read a phone book and then take a creativity test. The group that read the phone book before the test performed much better than the group that didn't. So, before your next exam, put away your phone and maybe try reading a book or just staring at a wall. Even before studying, something like this would help and make it much easier to get into the work. And I myself find that before I get into studying for a long period of time, I like to stare at my work to stimulate this sense of boredom because it helps me to lock in on my work extremely quickly. So now you know the 3 steps that you can do instead of studying. This does not mean that you don't study, but it means that these steps will have an effect on your grade without you having to sit down and actually do some work, which is very motivating to believe. But if you have an exam that you're completely unprepared for, these steps won't help. So watch this video here on how to cram. Thank you for your time and use it wisely.